Alright, so today the goal is to find out some more information, basically. So, we're gonna mark this as the first recipe here. And this is Alchemy Chaos, so let's see, Alchemy Chaos 2 Exalt 1 Runic Alloy Regal Exalt New Remnant. Reroll it. Greater Jewelers and Chaos Orbs. Roll it. 3 perfect Og. And Varanas. Okay, reroll this one. Decay Discovery. Shattering Titan Detonation. Shin and UJ. Okay. Spirit. And what else do we got here? It's 2 Og. Alright. So yesterday I got a ton of like Alder Saga affix data. Like using like all +7, we were trying to chase for a boon. Today I need to get enough data to now basically fill the rest of it out here. So we know now that every recipe has like a seed. Everything has a seed weight, and the top line determines the seed, and then it does like an independent roll to determine the depth. So, like, say you find a 3-div remnant, right? That's actually the same seed as your boon. So basically, every time you find a 3-div remnant, it could have been a 10-div remnant that just failed the socket roll. There's some cursed knowledge for you. You're gonna like be kicking yourself every time you see a 3-div remnant now. Expansive, 2 glass, 3 regal, 2 exalt. Done. Mark that as a new remnant now. Reroll it. 1 div. New remnant. Chase. New remnant. Decay. So we already had that one up here, actually. I could just literally copy paste it. Eventually I want to get like an autofill script that then takes the like what you find in your remnant here, and then autofills it for like the family. So like on the top, based off the top line. If you once I get that, if I'll probably work on making that tonight. It'll just make up the logging speed so much faster, because like it'll get to the point like once we get enough data, I could basically accurately predict exactly how many remnants you're gonna take to have a mirror spawn, right? So you know, let's see. I know that recipe's really long, so I'm gonna go over here and pull up the other sheet here. If it wants to come up, okay, okay, I guess we're just doing it by hand. I really don't want to do this by hand. Come on. Okay, whatever. Well, the time is, I'm just taking to try and pull this up. You know, I need to add an atlas. It's like just T-Flux 19 on the alias here. Let's actually go do that on this really quickly here. Alright, here we go. So, level 19, Flux, Control, we'll go down here. And then we'll do this for the whole list. Technically, it only needs 18, 19, and 20. And the list is like 10,000 aliases long, so I need to go all the way down here to adding custom ones. Okay. Okay, one more. No, I don't want to add. No, wrong slide page. Okay, then I update this one. Okay, so that should make us faster. I can just go T-Flux 19. There are some manifestations 20. Okay, why is that not working? Yeah, that should not matter. Give me a second here. Okay. Sheet 1. Yeah, I'm gonna kill this one here for a second. So I don't like. Oh, you know what? It's probably not able to pull it up. It's logged into the other Google account. Duh. And that's not a public sheet. Try it now. Come on. Where is it? Here we go. This one's blank. Yeah, I think that's the master sheet. So this should be the good sheet. Okay, whatever. I'll just get it copied here. I really just need to make an autofill script for this. Okay. Did I not type that right? Powered by Verisum. I did not. There. Okay, we'll try it this way. Dude. Aliases. Or is it just powered Verisum? No, it's powered by Verisum. Logger. This is annoying. This is why I hate this rune shape. Remnants of Calgary, level 20. Level 20 Bitter Dead. Alright, that's better. VP. So, the reason I'm doing this here, and for anyone that's like new to the channel, is for like months, I've been doing like a bunch of like Grand Expedition testing. So what I've been trying to build is a functioning like probability calculator that basically you can just tell it the map, like what map type you're on, if you're running Jado, all of that, right? And then it'll tell you like, oh, you set an all +7, here's your odds of finding a boon on that specific map, right? But to do that, it took custom building some like data collection tools like this sheet. This sheet, I basically had to custom build. There's like custom backend scripts that make it work here. But it's all contained inside of Google Docs. And it basically logs everything. You tell it like you're running, say you're running Jado, right? And it will do, it will then log that your every single passive that you have selected for Jado. That's not a level 20, that's just straight up the base one. There you go. Yeah, so, and then it logs everything, basically. It keeps track of literally everything. It'll log how many map mods you're running. It'll log how many tablets you have that are +2 mods. It'll log basically anything that you would want to like get enough data to actually build a functioning like calculator for that. It logs it. So from what I found out yesterday is everything there's not really a real like rune weighting system as far as this goes. It looks like the only way the math would work is if it rolls for the base seed and everything has the seeds. The rare recipes have like up to 5 required seeds that it has to hit to get it, as such as like the div. And then you have like a recipe like this, it's only got 1 seed. It's just the title rune. And then after it gets the seed roll, then it rolls for like how many sockets you have. So then it'll like roll the amount of sockets, so that then it reveals the rest of that seed's family. So every seed has like a set family that goes up to like 10 sockets. So technically like the seed that the divine sits in is actually the same seed family as what you would see on a boon. So basically anytime you see a 2 div roll inside of a Grand Expedition, unfortunately, that could have been a boon that just didn't hit the right socket roll. Okay, based off the current data, that's what it looks like. So, yesterday I did mostly testing on, like, All+6 and All+7 maps to get, like, the higher-end seeds, like, combinations leveled out and figured out, right? So today I need to do it, the same thing, basically, on these kinds of maps, so I can get the seeds for the lower-end part of the recipes all done and, like, mapped out. And then once that's done, I should be able to fairly easily make a functioning calculator based off that. That works. Nourishment. And another thing that this will tell us is, since it is desperation, also logging Alder Saga fixes, we can figure out like the exact occurrence rate of every Alder Saga fix. Protection. And we've got reinforcement. Well, I do need more, eventually I'm gonna, like, update this with another script that'll basically just take the family for the top line that you enter, and it'll, like, autofill it. There's some that have the same top lines that are in different families. So, I mean, that's gonna have to be something we account for, so maybe you just type it in and it brings up a drop-down or something. I don't know yet. Reroll it. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting, because the Ire of Alder has its own single seed recipe too, as well as the Betrayal of Alder does here too. How are you? I'm doing good. Uh, it's a very, very rough outline of the calculator that I'm working on to predict probabilities is at the moment based on the data. That's what I posted on Discord. So basically, from what I have currently as far as the data goes, it let me assemble that, but it's got holes in it still. I need more like raw data. But I'm good, by the way, Michael. How are you, man? But that's what I posted in the Discord. It's getting closer. I just need to fill out the lower end versions of the seed families and we'll be good. I haven't actually been running any of my maps lately, because, like, I am low on divs, so I probably should log it, then run it. I know it's going to take longer, but, like, whatever. So as I get more data, I should be able to basically accurately predict exactly the odds of finding whatever item is. Here. So there's two ways it could work, right? It could roll the socket first, and then it rolls the seed inside that socket, and then whatever the socket does, it then eliminates whatever seeds can spawn in there, right? The problem with that setup is then it would make the especially for like the Alder's Legacy, occurrence rate on those way lower than it actually is if you do the math on that setup. If you do the math on the setup where it rolls the seed rune set first and then rolls for how many sockets the seed rune set is, so then it, like, say you find a 3 div seed, since that has the same base seed and it's in the same family as all the boons, then that seed would then roll for the socket, and if it hits 10 sockets, then it hits a boon, right? The math supports that side of it a little bit better than it does the other side at the moment. So that's probably how it's working, but I need more information and data to make sure there's not some underlying weighting, if that makes sense, on top of that. So, this is really good because it gives us all of that information. Now that I can log everything as a separate remnant too, because like everything has like a random family for everything it goes to. It's not even random. It's so like the 3 annulment orbs recipe, right, is the exact same as the 2 annulment orb recipe, which is the exact same as the 1 annulment orb setup on a remnant. The only difference is the 3 annulment has an extra socket and the 2 annulment has an extra socket over the 1 annulment orb, but like from the bottom to the top, not including those extra sockets, the recipe is the same. The exact combination of recipes inside the remnant is the same every single time. It's just is rolling for that extra socket. So I think it rolls, the way it has to work is it rolls the seed, and then based on the seed, if the seed possibility has like the potential to go to like 3, 10, or socket, something like that, and then after it locks in the seed, then it rolls for the socket size. Because that makes sense. The math supports that. And using it that way, you can basically get it within like a 1% margin of error of the way it actually occurrence rates are. But since I don't have a ton of data on the occurrence rates at the moment, okay, so now I go up here, and this is a no Alder Saga map on Jado. I'm using Jado. I know I can factor in for her 10% lucky chance, like, after the fact in the math at the end, so I was trying to get a boon to spawn for me yesterday, and it wasn't working. I spammed like 200 divs in Alder Saga trying to get one to spawn. And mark this for new remnant.
Step on the road.
Maybe re-roll it. 2 chance. Eventually, I'll have enough data that I won't have to type out everything on this if anyone else wants to contribute. You literally can just type in the top socket and it'll autofill based on the seeds. It shouldn't be too hard of a script to write. Here. Okay, so new remnant here. Mark it. Back to the game. See, this one's an easy one. And there's actually some of these recipes that don't exist on the wiki. One of the whetstone recipes I actually had to manually add in because it's not on the wiki. Same thing with the one div recipe. That's not on the wiki either. So the database that I'm running the spreadsheet off of right now is actually more complete than the wiki's is. But I'm hoping within the next few days I have enough like actual hard data to then start building the calculator correctly. Did I not spell that right? Oh, it's 2 N's. Duh. Heart. Glancing. Stability. Greater charging. Greater charging and then greater reward. So yeah, I just need to fill out these like lower end seed combos and get enough data on those. So like that one's the same. So I just saw that 2 orbital chance one right here, right? So look at it all the way down, helmet, gloves, it's all the same. So basically I know now that's a seed family. So I can hit this and then I can just copy and paste. Not like that, obviously. That doesn't work. Like that. Okay, that whole family's done. Convert. Should be able to just type 2 trinomials, right? Alright, that's done. And then there's 3 socket nourishment family here. I did set this, yeah, no older socket. I was like, okay. Yeah, so the more info we can get on the, like, the lower end seed families, the better, though. So, like, this seed family, if I remember right, actually can go Elder Saga. At the top end. Alchemy, Chaos, 2 Exalt. We've already got this one logged. Roy, Regal, Exalt. Version, 2 trans. Yeah, so I just need to get all the seed families for the lower end remnants, like, I completely identified and ruled out here. Once we have that, we can go and build a actual completely functioning probability calculator, because like that'll let us find if it's if there's any like background weighting. Because I don't think there's background weighting. I think it's just like the amount of seeds required determines the rarity. That's what makes sense. With everything that I've seen as far as the data goes. Sovereign and Void Flux. New remnant there, and then that's good. Alright, so and I'll make a whole big old post on once I figure it all out. I just don't want to jump the gun again on this. And say, oh, we know how it works until, like, I'm 100% certain. Yeah. This remnant setup sucks, but, like, whatever. Subspace orange biting nails. That's literally what that emoji just shows up on my Streamlabs. That's funny. Yo, what's up, Shaken? By the way, we're getting it figured out, man. We now know a lot more than we did before. We know that it rolls the seeds and it uses the seeds as a rarity scaler. I just gotta figure out if it rolls the socket count before the seed or if it rolls the socket count after the seed. Which just means more data to, like, deduce. It wouldn't make sense that if it, like, it rolls it after the seed. Because then it would basically make recipes not... I mean, if it rolls the socket count before the seed, I mean, if it does hit, like, a 7 socket, then it chooses from a list of available seed setups and recipe groupings that can hit that 7 socket threshold. Yeah. Well, I think there's two RNG rolls. All the data, the only way the math works is if it rules the seed state and then it rules the socket count, or it rules the socket count and then it rules the seed state. I don't know which one comes first at the moment. It's just gonna take more data. Once I get more data, though, I can actually probably figure it out. And then once we have that figured out, we'll know how to like basically get enough data to basically track it for every time there's a patch and keep like an updated probability calculator for every patch. Because even if they change the recipe groupings, it shouldn't take us more than a couple days to get there again, to get to that point. Because like we don't need to see all the high-end combos. We just need to know the possible start and end points for every grouping. Like, if you look at the lock recipe, there's 3 locked in, there's 3 seeds that are locked into that recipe that basically no other recipe has in those positions. There's 3 of the runes. So if you figured that, it's probably going off some sort of system like that. Like it rolls the seeds first, and then from there it determines the sockets. Oh, that's a freaking headhunter. Okay. Random pathing map drops a headhunter. Let's go. So we'll clip that. Clip that. But eventually, once I have all the families leveled laid out, I can write a script for the data collection spreadsheet so that way if anyone else wants to like help with it, they don't have to log every single recipe in a remnant. You just type the top line recipe and it just autofills to the rest of them. Once we have like the families 100% laid out. Also, I need tier 15 data. I don't have any data for tier 15 at the moment either. So I can't really effectively determine, how, technically to like get a good determination on how area level affects everything, you would need tier 15, tier 16 non-irradiated data, tier 15 non-irradiated data, tier 15 irradiated data, tier 16 irradiated data, and then probably tier 14 non-irradiated and irradiated data to figure out how that changes the overall seeds. And honestly, that would give us a lot of information that we don't already have. And that would honestly be like a good thing to go and get next. And then after that, it's basically just you gotta just assemble all of the information, put it together, build a mathematical model for it, and then you should be able to make a functioning like probability calculator within like 1% margin of error of what actually the game's gonna show you. And so like if you see like an all+7 map, I should be able to tell you exactly the odds of finding a boon on an all+7 map and how many like remnants you're gonna have to like, depending on how many remnants that map has as a base. So it will be useful because then you'll be able to just like, oh, how many grand expeditions am I going to have to do if I want to get that? Like all my boons. And then I can also, from the data, because the way it tracks everything, it tracks like Alder Saga affixes and everything. So you can also then like tell it, oh, this is an all+5 map. What's my chances of a boon, you know? GC, GE, GR. Alright, so look at this here. Okay, see, this is, if you look at this, what's the pattern here? Which one's the actual seed rune here? It's the oath rune in the first slot, right? All three of these recipes have oath in the third slot, in the first slot.
Another step on the road less traveled.
That's the seed. That first slot oath is the seed. What the heck? Controller on that keyboard. And then if you look at like the div recipe, that thing has a really rare seed. I think it's a 5-slot seed. Right? So like, it could just be that there's no actual weighting. It's just the seeds, the rarity of the item is determined by how many seeds is necessary for that item to roll, if that makes sense. Like this is fire rune seed in this slot here, see? I guess that's this is the seed. So basically if it rolls a fire rune in this slot here, it then determines that. Three greater regal, 3 greater chaos. Three GC, 3 GE. Yeah, so this is a oath rune on the first slot on the seed here. We just saw something else that was an oath rune on the first slot, right? So if you look at this one, where was it? It was right here. So it was greater chaos, greater exalt, greater regal, and then a unique, and then that was it, right? That was the, but look at this. Oath rune in the first slot, higher sockets, but the base level, the lower end recipes are the same. So what that tells us is it rolls the seed, locks the seed in, then rolls for the socket count. Oh, that's 3 glass. And then when you hit like an all +7 map, it just eliminates anything that doesn't have the ability to have anything that caps out as at it like a so they consider if there's seed families that can't go above 7 sockets and they're like 6 sockets are capped, it just eliminates all those seed families. Didn't we just do that one? Yeah, I did. I guess I could just copy it. Alright. This is Swift and and an Exalt. Yeah, so that's basically what I think is going on. It's just I need more like low-end socket data where I'm actually tracking the difference on each remnant. Because yesterday, basically all I gathered was like top-end data here. So like this could have been a boon if it hit the higher socket roll. Here, can I spell right now? It might be the socket roll is weighted. Which, if it is, then we know. Then I mean, this will tell us, right? Alright, man. Have a good rest of your day. Now we have Regal. Yeah, basically we'll basically be able to answer every question off of this, though. Ooh, this one sucks. Will this load yet? Oh, there we go. Okay, so for this one, I just need... Yeah, I already have this in here, so... I'm just gonna copy this one. I just freaking... Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Okay, so... What was I looking for? 20 rain. Yeah, so... This one's on. Yeah. So, like, you see how long this setup is here? That's why I was not, like, I'm not gonna type all that. I already know that it's like the longest setup. I'm not typing it all. Okay, so we need now... Do I not have this one? Rain. Don't have that on that sheet. Okay, so we're just gonna go this one then. Then level 20 reprieve. Ley lines, level 20. I'm sorry, man, that sucks. I'm gonna have to actually go farming here and again soon because I'm running out of money again. RM. Okay. Then healing rooms. What else is this? Skyfall. Skillion. Come on. Refutation. Really? Did I spell that wrong? Yeah, I did. Man, I hate these really long ones, man. Reprieve, relay lines. Why is that not showing up? I'm just gonna try the whole thing then. Okay, yeah, there goes. Ley lines and Animus Exchange. Here, now that's a new one. Doing those long ones like that are a pain. 3 greater trans. Ward, mine, skill gem. Alright. 6 wet protective ally, so 6 wet. Effective and chaos. See, that's an interesting one because it didn't roll. There is another recipe that rolls a bunch more Sockets than that. So, like, we just had this family. Actually, no, this is a different one. This is a greater uncut skill, lesser Jill. Okay. 3 greater uncut spirit gem 19. Lesser jeweler's orb. 3 regals. Then 2 exalt. I almost have enough. I just need more low end socket data. It will be good. Okay, so now for anyone in chat, okay, so you see this recipe, right? This is Passion of Alder, and then it's 3 greater trans, uncut skill gem 19, right? So this is the same recipe top down as the one we just put in. 3 greater Og, uncut spirit, uncut skill gem 19, or 3 greater trans, uncut skill gem 19, ward, mind, uncut skill gem. Passion of Alder, greater trans, uncut skill gem 19, ward, mind, uncut skill gem. It's the same seed family, it's just a different socket count. So what we learned from this is that everything is like within the it rolls seed family then socket. So it chooses like it rolls between the possible like seeds in every socket and then probably does something like that in the back end. Okay, so that Rain of Blades level 20 setup that I just typed here. That's the family there, so we're just gonna mark that as done. Its own remnant now. Okay. And then we have... And what this lower tier socket data does is it lets me then eliminate the stuff that doesn't ever show up on the higher, like the families that never show up on the higher, like in like all +7 maps, because like we did a bunch of those yesterday. I spelled that wrong. Can I spell the name? No, apparently. There we go. Bruh. I cannot spell. Fuck me. Where did I type? I'm just gonna retype the whole thing. There. We're not gonna talk about that. Stability. T-Flux 18. Okay. Courage. And then greater charging. Reinforcement. I did not want to do that. What the heck, dude? Reinforcement. Greater charging. Expansive. Two glass. 3 regal. 2 exalt. Because like since now I have all the data for like the top end families, I just need the low end ones to like make the complete picture. Here. This map is gonna be shit no matter what I do. Pretty sure I've rolled and logged every remnant here, right? Oh, except for this one. Okay. 3GR. 3GC. 1GC. 3GE. 1GC. 1GE. 1GR. GC. GE. GR. Logged it. Alright, there we go. And that one, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it, and I'll just path to that with the bombs. Sure. Probably the best remnant on this map right now after I re-rolled everything. No, here we go.
Darkness clung to this place.
So I've almost got enough of the low-end socket families established that I can start making a working and functioning like probability calculator based off the low-end socket families. I just got to get enough data to then try and establish if it rolls the sockets first and then it fills it with like possible seed families, or if it rolls the seed family first and then rolls for sockets, because it's a separate roll. I know everyone's like, oh, your build's using Adonias, it's getting nerfed. Like, I mean, yeah, but I never actually use it. Yeah, the amount of times I actually use the Adonias on my build is like almost never. And honestly, once the rend bug, since the rend bug is fixed, yeah, Adonias is more damage. Like it's just literally just run rend as well. That's an Oath plus Wandering set up there. I'm missing something. What am I missing? I have to do a couple pathing maps here.
Speed. This is all we have.
I don't want to do that. It's not. No.
But sure. Go.
Yeah, maybe not. I'm gonna do this. Here.
Another step. Step on the.
Okay. Unique jewelry. Greater Jeweler's Orb. Cyclonic. And then 3 Exalts. Alright. Next Remnant. See, what I need more of is like the low socket and data. Alright. Void. Decay. Discovery. See, this has an opulent rune. Not an opulent. This is a toxic seed. And then, see, this is where this one doesn't make a lot of sense. So, again, actually it does, though. If you're going off of it rolls the seed socket first, and then it goes off and then it rolls for the total, setup, then that makes sense. Here. Okay, so we got 70 remnants so far on this set. What kind of tablets am I actually using to farm for iron? There is, I have no idea if it's on YouTube, but there is the portrait version on YouTube. And TikTok. What kind of tablets so basically what I'm actually farming is just like tier 16 with +2 random mods and like increased number to spirits and effectiveness generally. Because I know effectiveness works. It's 3 exalts, right? Yeah. Alchemy. Chaos. And then 2 exalts. Runic. How many regals? Runic regal exalt. Okay. 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 This is also good. We've got, what? Breath. Cruelty Winter. Oh, that's a strange mutation. Why am I typing in rune there? Okay, that's done. The more information we can get on the seed families, the better here. Especially the lower, Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna have to get a new sheet soon. I've already burned through half the sheet already today. That's ridiculous. Mystic, Prismatic. GC. GE. GR. 75 remnants so far today. That's good. Six wet. Okay, witchcraft. Reach. Foundations. Lesser ward. Lesser mind. Artificers. Okay. Can I just use that? I wonder if that works. No. How am I missing? Alright. Almost actually got enough here to, like, I need probably just a few more maps on non-Elder Saga setups here. GT to get like because right now I'm trying to get the base level, like how all these start, and then I can use that to figure out. All right, there we go. That one's done. All right. Reroll. Okay, here's a good example. Okay, see this recipe? How the 2 annulment, 1 annulment, and then all the way down it's exactly the same. If we look here, right guys? I go over here, and I type in on the sheet where I logged this already. We started at 2 annulment, right? This is always the same all the way down the list. But then when you look at 3 annulment, here, it's also... Let me see if I can find the actual 3 annulment. Okay, right here. On this version of the 3 annulment rule, it's also the exact same all the way down the list. The only difference is the one has a higher... One starts at 9 sockets and then 7 and then 6. But like, the 6 socket version from the 6th socket down is always going to be the same as the 7 socket and the 9 socket all the way down the list. And the reason that's important is it tells us a lot of information about how it's choosing the seed families here. It tells us that it rolls for the seed and then rolls for the socket. I think this is actually one that I haven't found yet, as far as the seed family goes. I think this caps out here. The spirit. This is why we need this, because like if we found additional seed families that have caps on them, that means all that the Elder Saga map's doing is it excludes those families from being able to roll. So it's important information as far as like being able to predict probabilities. T-Flux 19. Then new ruminant. Okay, so this one's the Swift's like Swift, Iconic. Alchemy. Expensive. Protective. Adaptive. Alright, that's this whole map. Alright. Rebirth, adaptive. There's nothing really on this map worth running is the problem. Okay, I don't really care enough after this. Alright, now we kill everything. Alright. So far we've gotten a lot of good information. I think I actually found a new group that we haven't found before. So like it's the more that we get, the better here. Once we get all the actual possible groupings put together, we can actually build a working statistical probability calculator for like, oh, you're running an all+7 map. This is your odds of finding this recipe, or like, oh, you're running like a 1x7 map. Here's the odds of finding this recipe. You know? But, you know what's funny? We'll actually be able to find out the exact drop chance of the mirror in the lock based off this data. As far as the remnants goes. I am gonna need to get like tier 15 data eventually though. Like, and tier 14 data. Because if that's what the tier, if like going up area level is what I think it could be doing, it might not actually be a baseline multiplier. It might just be making it so it doesn't have the ability to roll for some of those like lower end seed families, right? Am I stunned? How the hell did I get stunned? That's not supposed to be able to even happen. I need to lower the price on my staff too that I have up for sale. So once I get that, I can actually do that. But yeah, that's the next thing is like getting data on tier 15 and tier 14. Once we have that, we'll know if it's like a baseline area level multiplier or if it's like it just eliminates possible recipes when you go up in those tiers in the on the area level. So that'll be another important information and key piece to the puzzle. So you know what I don't have any data on is Lucky maps. There is no data on a Lucky map at the moment. Oops. Not that it matters, but like, yeah, we'll go with this.
Another step on the road less traveled.
Okay, this is greater robust, greater resolve, greater adept. What do you mean? Uncut Spirits 19. Okay, there we go for that one. We're almost, long time no see. What's up, Max? Okay, so level 20 Skyfall. Do we have one of those? Because I don't want to, like, yeah. Yeah, we do actually have that whole set here. I think it ends on Animus Exchange, right? It does. Yeah, so I'll just mark this down here. Doop. And this. What's up? We're trying to make a probability calculator for, like, finding certain items. So it just takes a lot of data. A 100 remnants of data on this one so far. I'm doing alright. No complaints. Okay. You can't sleep? I'm sorry, that sucks. Sovereign and Void. You know, that's a combo that I don't think has... I think that's like its own thing, like a recipe group right there. Splinters. Combination. Vitality. Six scrap. Greater adept. Greater glacial. Four scrap, one adept. Four scrap. Adept. And glacial. Bodyguards. Equinox. Alright, so I think we, we almost have enough data to actually start building this. We're basically missing just a couple of the actual setups in here. At this point. Breath of the Boulder. Winter. Lesser Stone. Vision. Then transmutation. Okay. So what the I think we almost have every single possible outcome logged now. Expansive. Yeah, so I'm not actually playing. I'm just doing testing. I just need more. We need more accurate data. T-Fox 19. Okay. Since we already know that group, eventually I'll just make a script that just autofills this. Like, once you know the group type thing here. Alright. Yeah, so that is how it looks. It's looking like it is in the data, by the way, for anyone curious. It looks like there's two separate rolls. It rolls for your seed, and then it rolls for the socket. So, what I'm doing now is, since I already know most of the possible seed families, okay, so 3 greater. Okay, is that actually a different one that, like, uncut seed? Okay, so this is that seed family. So there's 2 different seed families with 3 greater Og. This goes all the way down to that reinforcement line. Wait, what? That's a different family. 3 greater Og, uncut spirit gem, nourishment, courage, desperation, disintegration, reinforcement. What? Ward mind. Okay, interesting. Okay, that is interesting. I think I just found a new family. I mean, I know we've had the combo before, but there looks like there's 2 different greater augment families. Which is actually huge to figure out, you know? I know this is, like, boring as hell to watch, by the way, and, sorry, but, like, I think a lot of you guys are gonna want to know the end results here. And this is all done, so that's Transcendent. Reroll it. And that is the Olderoth Saga setup. So we'll double check this. All of Verana's robust adapt. Okay, yep, that is the right there is the whole entire Olderoth Saga setup. So we put that there, so I don't have to re-log the entire thing. Okay, what is this? 3 perfect trans med. Okay. Okay, new remnant. Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna need is like tier 15 and tier 14 data. With that, I should be able to determine what the function is that adding the map level is doing. If it's actually some sort of base multiplier for area level, or if it's just for the remnants, or if it's just like eliminating lower end recipes. But I'm gonna finish this sheet on, and then I'll make a new one, and then we'll start all over here. Because that'll give me 3,000, if I finish this sheet, it'll give me about 400 remnants of data that we can pull from. Also, I need to go change the price on my staff, because I actually need that to sell.
Price drop.
Another one that I don't have a ton of map data on is like 1x to whatever version of it is here.
Another step on the road less traveled.
Swift. Like alchemy. Basically, this is the exact same thing, well, without the almost. No, actually, it's not. Okay. Cyclonic, what else is in here? 3 alchemy, 3 glass. Okay, so... Expansive. Two glass. 3 regal, and then exalts. And this ends on mind, right? Yep. So copy that, and I can just paste this right here. Saves me a bunch of time. 6 wet. 6 wet etcher scrap. Okay, copy this one. See, it's at the point, like, I can literally just, for future data collection at this point, now that I know the seed combos, I'm gonna make a, like, probably after stream tonight, I'll make a script that just basically autofills it off the top slot if there's, like, seeds available. And if, like, there's multiple seeds available, you just select the second slot or something like that. But that's, okay, so there's not even a copy of that on this sheet. I put too many ends. What the heck, dude? Bro. Oh. I massively typed that wrong, didn't I? There. Acrobatics. Hunt. What the hell? Rune of the Hunt. T-Flux 18. Adaptive. 3 regal. Alright. And then Olroth's. Ascendant. Reroll it. That's the 2 annul setup, which is right here, and it is a long one, so I am definitely copying that one because that ends on the Detonating Living, yeah. See. Alright. See, it's getting to the point on just this sheet I have enough to, I can literally just speed it up by doing it this way. Double check that that's the same T-Flux setup right now for T-Flux Warding Courage, and then Greater Ward. Yeah, okay. So, this is the setup. Greater Ward. I don't need the, I just need the. Okay. Put this in down here. 116 remnants of data on this setup though, so okay, 3 div. 3 div. 2 div, 1 div. See, this is the same seed family as the boons is. So as it goes up every socket, it basically has to have all of this. So like here, let me show you guys on the screen here. Discord. Here. Okay, so see, if we compare this to the seed family, so basically this is the seed family, is the same seed family as the boon. The reason the boons get really rare is it has to then hit all of this, right? It has to get all of this, right? So the sockets here. And then, actually, wait. I just think I noticed something. That would explain a lot. It's in the same... Okay, no, sorry. Yeah, so basically the 10 div setup, if it hits 10 div, it's technically the same setup, it's just not re-rolling hit the 10 slot. And then the 10 slot, it just has its own seed, but it's still the same, like, actual seed group family. Every single time. But I need to actually find one, so I can have it, like, in the data here. Permanent number 118 now. Reroll this. Og, 3 greater Og. Uncut 19. Is that spirit or skill? Uncut spirit 19. That is the Oloroth setup again. And that ends on an adept turn, correct? Yes. See, that's why I want to make an autofill script for this, because like I can literally just make it so I type in like Oloroth Saga in the top line and it does the rest, you know? Equinox, Obsession, Armature. Ooh, Rain of Blades. That ends on Animus. Yeah. See, like this will take like forever to type out every single one here, but like I could just like do this, and it's basically done. Okay, chilling. Lesser Adept. Lesser Glacial. 2 scrap. The 2 scrap was actually a recipe that wasn't on the wiki. by the way. Alright, so that's done. Alright, so... all +5. Mystic Masterwork.
Another
Piranhas through GE.
step on the road less traveled.
Okay, 3 greater. Uncut Spirit 19. 3 Regal. 2 Exalts. Okay. So far, this sheet now has like 126 Remnants tracked. It's getting there. Uhtred, 3 greater Chaos. Piranhas. Okay. Og. Okay, it's not that set. That's not that either. It is this one. So there's 3 different greater augmentation families. Item 3 trend. Okay. Mystic Masterwork. Oops. Yo. If this gives us enough data to then basically identify every seed group family, then, though, we can actually build a functioning calculator. For it. Like, that's gonna be hype. Because that means we can actually, like, accurately predict how much, how often you're gonna see, like, a mirror. Perfect. I like the America's a crackling fox. A lesser resolve. So I'm hoping that we can find every recipe family and every spawn set up here. Because there's like, it's not off the recipes. I think it rolls for like specific families and then base sockets type thing, if that makes sense. Or it's just a single roll and there's no sockets at all and it doesn't even pay attention to the socket size. That also could be a thing. So, but all of that's gonna just require data, honestly. And I also want to know how it behaves on, tier 15 and 14. Because if we can determine that, we can also find if it's a base multiplier or if it's just or if it just eliminates like shittier recipes. When you go into, up tiers on your area level. Because if it just eliminates the shittier recipes, then that's blades. Okay, so level 20 Rain of Blades setup is right here. That ends on Animus Splinters. And this, yeah, so yo, why are you spamming my chat? Seriously. T-Flux 19. I guess this ends on Bitter Dead, right? Yeah. Okay, Rain of Blades again. Didn't we just have one of those? We did. Okay, so here is that. Okay, 142 remnants on this data set so far that have been logged. Reroll this. Crackling Flux. Setup. Okay, so we go Crackling. Blazing. Chilling. Alchemy. 2 Runic. And 3 Art. 3 Artificers. Okay, so that's done. Alright, now reroll this one. Very unique chance. Okay. Unique helmet. boots. Okay. That one's done. Reroll it. Okay. This is literally the same seed setup that we just had, except for the guy it has the 2 orbs of chance on it on top. This is actually working so far. Chase, wisdom, archery. It might not even have anything to do with seeds at this point. It might just be rolling from the a possible list of families, then checks the socket, or rolls socket, and then rolls... But, like, enough data will be able to basically see everything. Okay, that's pretty much everything on this map, right? Double check it all. Yeah, that's everything. Alright, we're good. Okay, so now I go over here, I grab another map. And we just keep going until we get everything. I've never seen this one before. Yeah, I've legit never seen this affixed before. I don't know if I've ever seen that Averosum Remnant will contain a power rune before. Unless that passive has been broken this entire time, and when you open the sagas now, it has a chance to apply it 25% of the time. It was just a... Okay, that might actually be what they did. Okay. That doesn't really change the data, though. And that with the patch yesterday, they fixed that. I wonder. I'd have to go read the patch notes. I've never seen that one before. A Verisum Remnant in this area will contain a power rune though. Like, has anyone? I've done thousands of these at this point. I've never seen that affix.
Challenger!
Never once have I seen that affix.
Another
I mean, it doesn't really change the data too much, but like, it's just interesting. Because we're not looking for that, we're just like, I mean, it would change the, a little bit, because if there's, it would change the seed format. Alchemy, Chaos, Exalt. Runic, Regal, Exalt. PT, 3 PT. That's our inspiration, and then Okay, so this goes into that glacial. Here. Make sure it's alright. 6 armor, 4 scrap. Yeah, okay, that's correct. That's the one we're we're on right now here. And it's almost time for a new sheet. There's only like it only goes and tracks it to like 1,000 lines for some at the moment, so it's almost time to export and get a new sheet. What do you mean? Rune of warding. No, that's not it. Three-grader rod. Uncut spirit level 19. LJO. 3 regal. 2 exalts. Okay, that's done. Okay, 156 remnants on this set was logged. So far. God, this map has a lot of stuff on it too. Mystic. Prismatic. Swift. Cyclonic. Alk. Expansive. UJ. GG. Ruler's Orb, Cyclonic, and 3 Exalt. That's literally the exact same one I just had. I've almost got this completely figured out. Like, it just literally needs, like, I'm missing, like, oh, there's, like, a missing link at this point that I need to find. I'm hoping with enough data, though, that we can make, like, an actual, UR, UB, unique amulet. Enter. Okay. Reroll. Expansive. Alright, so as soon as this gets to 1,000 lines, I basically have to make a new sheet and start over. Rune of the Prism. So I'm hoping I get enough like of the lower end recipes to like start actually building this thing here. If I can get all the lower end possible families. Void Flux again, Decay. Unique Joy. Okay, so basically all the way down to here. All the way down. Paste that. Next remnant. So 170 almost logged on this sheet, and then we'll do another sheet, and then that should basically give us everything we need. Oh, that's blazing. God dang it, dude. Greater augment. Okay, that's done. Okay, 170 on this sheet. That's like 6 wet. Alchemy, Chaos. Alchemy, Chaos. 2 Exalts. Runic. Regal. 1 Exalt. New Remnant. Interesting. Vital Flame, Dueling, Mind, or okay, yeah, that's the same. Alright, so I think I have this ends at 1,000 rows and stops tracking. So on this set, this is basically gonna be it after this map. And then we'll make another sheet. And then that'll give me 3 full sheets of data with everything tracked. I need to get more rerolls. So that'll be enough data to figure it out. Honestly, that'll be like, because like at that point, what we do see is just as important as what we haven't seen after 400 remnants tracked. Okay, so do I have that one? No. Sure, yeah, I do. Prismatic, and it ends on the 2 augmentation, right? Yeah, so you do have that one actually. Alright, let me just put that in. Yeah. Okay, that's it for this sheet. Okay, so download, export. Okay, we're done here.
Another step on the road.
Go detonate the bombs and we're done with this map. And that sheet. I need to make a new sheet now. Alright, here we go. I need the master sheet here. I should honestly just bookmark the master sheet for making copies of it. And Jado is using... Okay. And I have Jado. I'm running tablets just because. And this one is all +5. So I've never seen this power rune thing before here.
Another step on the road left.
Okay, so permanent 1. Okay, we actually didn't see that setup at all on that entire last set. There's a unique maze. Which one is that? Two-handed. That's why it's not showing up. The unique two-handed mace. That's correct. Yo, I know it's here. Okay, yo, let's check this one. This is from yesterday. It's gotta be here, right? Willpower, claws. Yeah, it is. Okay. Let's start that. Okay. Next Revenant. Medved's Regal. What is that? Three greater Regals. At this point, like, what we don't find is just as important as what we do find. Because this lets us determine if there's a weighting in the back end here. So like we have the seeds and the everything else, but we don't have, and we know the families, but we don't know if there's like any kind of weighting on the socket roll or anything like that. But the more data we get, the easier we can determine if there's like a weighting in the back end. So I'm hoping after like another alder. I'm hoping by the time I'm done with this sheet, and that gives us almost 700 total remnants tracked on this system, we can crunch the numbers and just actually just like figure everything out. Agony, draining, spinning. Those are always together too. Cadogan's and Celestial. Destiny and Celestial. Okay, so we grab that, and then we grab this. So basically, 300 remnants and data. This should be, we're getting close. No, I don't want that. Oh my god. Okay, 3 Regal, 2 Exalts. Okay. So, Prismatic. T-Flux 19. Oh, dang it. Those are aliases that don't exist on that sheet, because I added them on this sheet. So, at the very bottom here, all those extra aliases that I just added here, so like these. Okay. I need to add those aliases to the master sheet, honestly. And then chance. Okay. 3 perfect og. Perfect trans, perfect og. So PT. Perfect og. 3 chaos. Mystic. 5 random. Swift. 2 chaos, 3 alchemy. How many was that? 3 exalts? 3 exalts. 1 alchemy, 1 chaos, 2 exalts. Alchemy. Chaos, 2 Exalt. Runic, Regal, Exalt. Runic, Regal, Exalt. Okay. 15 remnants so far. Here, guys. Alright, so... I think that's basically it for this map. There. Alright, PT, PA. Rare unique item. Chance. Helmet. Gloves. Boots. Armor. Okay, on this one, 5 random uncut. Alright, so this is getting a lot more interesting. Because we're starting to find like stuff that like I think is like unique. I didn't see these blazing. Okay. Lesser robust. I just needed to get a little bit Grace and Hunt. What's this? 3 perfect chaos. Okay, that's good. Free PC. Okay, that just hit. That was an interesting one. You know what I haven't seen any of today is Alder Sagas. I think I almost have all of them mapped. It's just I'm missing a couple. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure I have the majority of them done. So at this one, it's like what I haven't seen is almost just as important as what I have seen as far as the math goes.
Another step.
Okay, so this is what 2 runic. Adaptive, yeah. Okay, so that's the same recipe right there. Because, like, the more sample size and what I do see versus what I don't see, at this point I can start building, like, a weighting system. Okay, so... Okay, that's not that recipe. Set. Okay, that's the whatever. This is the one that I have right here, isn't it? And it ends on the exalt. Sovereign Perfect, 3 Chaos Mystic, okay, 5 random. Yeah, that's that recipe. So we just paste that in there. Okay, recovery and warding. Alright. You are... New Remnant. Okay. But yeah, this is actually, I should be able to basically have everything built by the end of tonight with this data. But I didn't want to, like, half-ass another, probability calculator without, like, the new data and, like I did last time. Like, I just don't want to, like, you know, I don't want to half-ass it again. Okay, right here, that's the start. And that goes all the way down to Animus Exchange. But, like, I think I've almost hit the point where I can identify every recipe chain and family. Two gem. Two trans. Prowess. And I think the older Saga maps, they work like a filter, right? There's some things that can never show up unless so it just filters those bad ones out, like family groups here. Didn't I just have that 2 gem, 2 glass set up right here? I did. 2 aug. Yeah, I did just have that set up right here. What? It's whatever. Okay. 6 wet. That's this combo right here. So we take this and we're gonna put it here. Okay. Betrayal. Alright, that's done. Recovery and rewarding. Okay, so at this point, what we're not seeing and what we haven't seen is just as important as what we have seen. We get jewelry, greater jeweler's orb, tonic, 3 exalts. Memory. Rune of the Sky. That should be there. There's some pile. Runic extraction. This one's a long one. Fist of Calgar. Warbound minions will take and hollow. This one sucks. Not at the moment. I have the data, but of like when I finish, as soon as I like start combining and everything. I mean, I had to custom build this, so this basically tracks everything and puts it all into this export sheet right here. So like it tells like it tracks the map mods, every single individual remnant. It tracks basically everything. Your Malice Master. So there's like nothing that's not being tracked on this. So it gives basically all the information in here, and if there's even like marker, it even assigns it's set up to assign remnant IDs. Here. So I can use that when I actually get to crunching, I probably will need to do that, but yeah. But for the most part, right now, I've actually managed to identify. So the way it works is there's groups. There's seed sets, but there's also recipe groupings. So those recipes always stay together for the most part. And then, like, especially, it's really apparent if you look at the two on here. Let me show you an example. Okay, so see the tool null recipe right here? How it tops out at like a 7, and then it has this entire chain all the way down underneath it. All the way down to detonate living. But if you find the 3 and all recipe, do I have a 3 and all in here? Okay, right here. See, 3-in-1 recipe. You see how it just adds it and goes up to the 9 socket, and then it goes all the way down the same recipe list to the very bottom here as the 2-in-1 and the 1-in-1 recipes do, all the way down to the detonate living. Basically, that's the family that sits in. So I think 2 things happen. I think it rolls the until I actually get the entirety of the data crunch. I won't know for sure because I needed more data because I was trying to find a boon yesterday. So most of the data from yesterday was like all plus 6 or 7 maps. At the moment, though, protected. What I need to do is I need to write a script that just autofills it based off the family on the top line. That would save me so much time. Or like a drop down that lets me select it. You know? The main sheet here, I can link you the main sheet. Here, give me a second. I have it copied. I'll get you a copy of it so you can look at it. Here you go. Alright. Why is it not letting me copy? Into the chat. Yeah, that doesn't work. Oh, my controller is sitting on the keyboard. That would be why. Alright, here. There you go, Scarred. So this is, the sheet that I'm using. That's the... that's how it's set up. That's just the blank copy of it. It's set up for like 1,000 lines, which is usually around 100 to 200 150 to 200 remnants. So I just make a new sheet after that. But so far I've filled 3 sheets. So it's getting to the point where what I haven't seen is just as important as what I have seen. Alright, so, going off the annulment setup here that I was just talking about, we just can basically copy it from here all the way down to here instead of having to type out the entire thing. Yeah, I've never seen that one. That's the first time I've ever seen that. A fix. Like, I've literally run hundreds of these and I've never seen that. A fix. Have you seen that one, Doge? I mean, yeah. You can search for, like, power room occurrence rates, but, like, there's no way, there's not a filter for that because I've never seen it. I didn't even know it existed until, like, just a few minutes ago. Oh, which ones have power in it? Yeah, a lot of them, actually. I believe the mirror is also on a power seed. Do I have any all plus 6s left? After yesterday, did I run them all? And... most of that first sheet was on non-Elder Saga maps because I needed non-Elder Saga map data. So this sheet I can actually do on Elder Saga's map, so I just gotta figure out where all of them are because I spam opened so many sagas yesterday trying to get all plus 7s. I'll just do that when it's lucky. Yeah, so that's like, if I had known that was a toggle that, like, could happen, I would have put it on the sheet, but I've legit run hundreds of Grand Expeditions and never seen that map before, that setup before. Greater charging. Two gem, 2 glass, LJO, and cut spirit trans. Oh shit. But I'm hoping once I get this sheet filled by the end of stream, it gives us enough data on everything, to then start assembling some sort of probability calculator here. Because at that point, like, what we haven't seen yet is just as important as what we have seen. Oops. Wait. This is the same setup. Okay, I don't want to type that whole thing, so we're just going to go over here and see if we can find it here. Willpower clause. Okay, we do have one. Mystic. Okay, that ends at the mace. Okay. So this is actually the same. Eventually, I really just want to write a script that autofills it based on this, if that makes sense. So Cadogan's. Great. Again, the same thing we just found. Swift, 2 chaos, and that ends on an exalt? Yeah. Swift, 2 chaos. So see, this is the same thing. See, this one started on a perfect AUG. Here, sorry. Yeah, this one starts on a perfect trans, it gives a perfect AUG, and then goes all the way down the list to here. Well, it's the same overall base family as this. The recipes, like, the recipe order is the exact same every single time. It gives us, like... And the fact that I haven't seen a boon set up yet is just as important as if I did, you know? With as much data as I've gathered. Okay, so is this the Flux 18 one with adaptive, and where's it end? 3 Regal. Okay, so this is actually an interesting one. I think I misentered the data on this. This probably should have been 3 Regal. Actually, no, that's probably just two different setups. Control, Swift, Chaos. Control. Oh, that's a different set. This set here. Okay, so there's two different control sets too. You have the one that starts here, and it goes all the way down, and it ends with the 3 Regal here. And then there's another one here that goes down. I guess they're actually, it's the same. Never mind, I was just being dumb. 3 Regal. Yeah, that's the same. Okay, never mind. Reroll it. Mirror recipe? God, I wish. Like, this map is lucky, so it's good because it gives us more data on. There's some, like, map types that I'm missing a good amount of data on. And that's lucky, and then I have enough data on everything else. It's just there's not lucky to data at the moment. So there's the more data I can pull on lucky maps, the better. Lesser Stone, Lesser Inspiration. Orb. And tries. Okay, that is GT. Greater Og. Uncut Sport. I think, for the most part, though, I have it, narrowed down to a point that I can basically start assembling it, and I can pull, like, exactly of how many different seed states there is for each type. Like, or as far as, like, the families go. Because, like, the top recipe down type thing. Really? I spelled that right. What do you mean no match? Okay, there's no match. There's no shorthand for it. Okay, so this is the Olros setup. Olros, Varanas, Medveds, and it ends on the Adeptern, right? Yeah, okay. You know what's funny? You look in this at this is the Elder Saga. This is literally the Elder Saga recipe with it, but it didn't hit 7 sockets. That's all that's different right there. That's the same setup that an Elder Saga seed would have, but it didn't roll 7 sockets. Okay, so level 20 rain here. See, this one is a pain in the ass because it's so long. So this one's definitely a copy. Agony, draining, spinning. Out of the actual list, like what I've actually encountered, I'm missing the mirror. I have the mirror set up. I'm missing, but I've never seen it. And then I have the, I haven't seen the, in this data set, I haven't seen a Alder's Legacy either. What the heck did I just do? I think I hit the wrong button. Give me 1 second, so I don't like... Here we go. Okay, there we go. Decay. Discovery. Okay, why is that not working now? Oh, there it goes. Shattering. Okay, so... It's annoying Titan. And unique jewelry. Honestly, I should have enough data, because like at this point what I haven't seen is just as conclusive to like figuring it out as what I have seen. But I'm pretty sure I've found every permutation and variation of every recipe family. It's just I have to find the, now we just gotta basically, get more data, crunch the numbers. Another thing we need is data on, like, tier 14s and tier 15s, irradiated and non-irradiated, so we can assess if adding in map tiers is actually changing the weighting, or if it's just excluding the lower-end recipes from occurring. If that makes sense. I don't have enough data on 1x7 yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get that here. Even though I'm not running this, I'm just using shit tablets, so like... Alright, so we go over here and I set this to 1x7. Yo, that actually killed the TikTok. What the heck, dude? Okay. Yeah, so I'm just missing the mirror.
Another step on the road less traveled.
Yeah, so I know the recipe for it. That's the thing. I know the mirror. We know what the recipe is. That's not a secret. This is a guarantee, 1 guaranteed 7. Yeah, so that's not a thing. We already know what that is. What we don't know is the occurrence rates. right? So like we can figure that out. That's what we're doing. You know another one that I've never actually ever seen? Here? Is the all plus, is the 1x9. GCGEGR. We'll have, this done though here soon, I'm hoping. Be perfect Og and Catlas. Because as soon as we get enough, okay, Passion of Alder. See, this is the 3 greater transmutation setup. It's the same. I actually have found a few new recipe setups today, which is good. Having those now. Lesser, it's Winter Lesser Stone. Oh god, fuck that shit. Okay, this goes all the way down to Bitter Dead. Correct, correct. So it doesn't roll the individual recipes, it just rolls for like the actual like recipe families, I think. Is like what everything points to. Yeah, so we're just missing like a handful of stuff here. Things here. Okay, I need... Did I have any L plus 6 sets here anymore? Lucky, 1x7. Duplicated. 5, 1... Yeah, we can get some more data here on the lower end side too. Because like yesterday we got a ton of data on the all plus 7 and all plus 6 and extra everything like that. We haven't found, so we have a lot more data on like all plus 7, all plus 6. There's 2 full sheets of data, but not a lot of data on like the lower end ones here. Oh, that's 1G. T.
On the road.
To gem. Yeah, this would be much faster if I just did it like this. All right. Okay. Okay, Discovery Titan. It is much faster if I just put it on my other monitor that I can't see TikTok chat. Masterwork. Prismatic. Perfect Jeweler's Orb. Greater Jeweler's Orb. 3 gem. 3 glass. 2 gem. Like, this is the conclusion, I think, of the Greater Jeweler's Orb set, so it can't go up, so this is why you never see this set in, like, all plus 6 or something like that. Then Masterwork. Alright. So that's done. Alright, we're at 80 runes on this set, guys. So, like, or remnants, 5 random, and uncut spirit 9. Greater Chaos, Greater Exalt, Greater Regal. Three Greater Chans, Uncut. Board, mind. Okay. That's easier. Dude, it's so much faster to just, like, do this like with the other chat covered, though. Well, it just killed my TikTok stream anyway, so yeah, whatever. We're just gonna keep it on this sheet and on the screen then. I still need to actually, like, I mean, I could just invent that I found one. Mystic, Prismatic, Swift, Cyclonic. But that doesn't really help us if we're trying to find the weighting of it, you know? Okay, so what's this give me? Piranhas and Exalted. Hmm. Ooh, 3 PT. Okay, so that's this map. What time is it? 3:40? Alright. Baron. And I do seriously need more Alder Saga all +7 data.
All right. Your order is registered.
That's at least 3 right here. Lucky, all plus 5. Lucky. Shit. Okay. How many maps do I have to do to get to this? All plus 6 here? A bunch. It's 3 maps, okay. But I need more Older Saga data. I mean, the best way, my best chance of finding an actual boon setup is literally on an Elder Saga map, and like we need one of those. And the like not just an invented one, but we need one in the actual like data where I've found it here. Plus, adding in more different varied map varieties lets us then examine basically how exactly, if the all plus 6 is just a filter on the, and it filters all families that don't have a plus 6 roll or above type thing. So like having that kind of a data is also important, because then we can then actually determine the function of those all plus 7 and how it's actually working past just making all the remnants plus 7. Is it just like a filter, or is it actually just forcing everything to plus 7? I mean, either way, it increases your odds, but like depending how it does it, it's the different statistics. Because if it's just a filter, then we can figure that out too. But we should have at least seen by now 1. I mean, I did find a headhunter earlier today. I could just go sell that really quick and get 2 more sagas and see if I can get more plus 7s. Yeah, I wish I had like... I mean, actually, I just need to spend a day in farm divs, like, soon. Because if I had like enough div to like... I've had like 10 sagas right now that I could just go spam and try and get, more all plus 7 maps to log to try and force it to give me a boon. That would be ideal. But for the most part, we know how it works. Like, we have a good understanding of how it's working. There's just some, like, little unanswered questions that don't make sense when you, like, run the math on it. Like, it doesn't... that we gotta figure out. The biggest one is if we can determine if it rolls the seed or the sockets first. If we can figure out if it does, which one comes first, then that changes the whole thing. I'm thinking because of the mirror recipe and how it's only present on 9 sockets, it doesn't have any, it has to roll the socket first. And then it rolls inside for the actual total. The seeds that'll fit inside that socket set, if that makes sense. Because that's the only way that it would work with if it wasn't rolling the seed first. Because I don't think it could do that. Because then it wouldn't function properly. It'd be throwing errors. On the back end here. Pitch black? What do you mean? No video for you on YouTube. It's pitch black. What? You serious? I know the TikTok crashed. That's weird. That is really weird. Is it better now? I changed the, let me try, I'm trying to fix it. For some reason, TikTok crashed and it... I think the whole stream crashed. And it screwed up YouTube. Is it working on the portrait side? Weird that so portrait's working. It's just the main one's not working. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see on the YouTube. Hey Scarl, message me on Discord or drop your Discord name in the chat here. Yeah, the portrait's working, but the landscape isn't. I might have to restart stream. I'll be right back.